Hello everyone, welcome to the TheGeoecolologist. In this session, we are going to begin with our main paper, that is paper 1 of physical geography section, that is for the optional paper, and of that we are going to discuss about the environmental geography in the beginning. So we are starting a series of environmental geography in which the first concept that we discuss today is the definition, concept and its attributes of ecology. So let's go ahead and see what are the definition part, conceptual part and attributes of the basic concepts of about ecology. So today we are going to discuss about definition, then concept, then levels, then key terminologies. So this is our content for discussion in this lecture. So let's go ahead. So the first question is, what is ecology? So let's answer this in terms of its origination, the word conceptualization, and also the roots, that is ancient root. So let's see. It is the branch of science that deals with relationship of living things to their environments. This is the simplest way a person can understand the meaning of or the definition of ecology, that it is a relationship. Okay, basically it deals with, ecology is a branch of science that deals in the relationship. It doesn't deal in individuals. It deals in the relationship of different things like living and non-living things. So living things and their environment. Now, the term was coined by a German zoologist. Okay. So remember, the name of the German zoologist is Ernst Haeckel. So he coined it in 1869. So 1869, the same year when our father of the nation was born, Mahatma Gandhi. So it's the same year. I just said that because you can remember it. So 1869 was which year? It was very important year. It was just a decade after the Darwin's evolution of species concept came. So it was in 1859, and then in 1869 this concept was derived, the concept of ecology, as you see the term ecology. So what does it mean? So it basically has Greek origin, oikos. So oikos basically means house, dwelling place or habitation. So it's necessarily talking about human beings, their habitat, their dwelling place, their niche. So all those words that you associate and their scientific study. That's why oikos and logos. So ecology was made from these two words. Now, definition is, ecology is the branch of biology. Biology is part of the sciences. So, part of the science that is concerned with relational aspect of organisms, that is energy flow and cycling, that is about minerals, and also physical surroundings, that is the surroundings that we physically see, with which we interact. So, this is the basic definition of ecology. Now, let's see that ancient Greek philosophers like Aristotle, Hippocrates laid the foundations of ecology in their studies on natural history. If you go back to historical studies, you'll find out that these were the key thinkers and scholars who gave basic concepts already in the ancient. So, modern ecology was built on those basic concepts coming from the ancient, and it became more rigorous science by end of 19th century, because you see, Darwinism was the main phase in 1859 that revolutionized the change. So what happened? Evolutionary concepts related to adaptation, natural selection, evolution were main cornerstones of modern ecological theories. So whatever modern ecological theories, which we'll discuss eventually in the syllabus, so they have this basic stepping stone that was in end of the 19th century. So modern ecological theories are based on these evolutionary concepts. Then, ecology basically encompasses the study of individual, organisms, population, community, ecosystem, biome and biosphere. So see the sequence from individual to biosphere, which forms the basic levels of ecological organization, right? So, ecology is not synonymous with environmentalism or natural history or environmental science. Remember, many a times we tend to mix it. They are all three different things. Why? Let's see. Because it overlaps closely with evolutionary biology, genetics and ethology. So, it is different from environmentalism or natural history. They are separate sciences. Ecology is not mixed with those environmentalism and environmental sciences. It is an individual discipline. It is an unique discipline which discusses the interlinkages. Okay, that is where it is unique. All right. Now, an important focus for ecologists is to improve the understanding of how biodiversity affects the ecological function. So, biodiversity is the thrust for ecologists, right? So, what is the work for ecologist? Let's see. Do you have any clue about that? What does an ecologist do? Let's see. So, life processes, interactions and adaptations. These are the three key words you remember. Life process, interaction and adaptation. This is the first work of study of ecologist. Then movement of material and energy through the living things, right? So there is a movement. We study food chain, food web, okay, many biogeochemical cycles, isn't it? So these are part of the traveling of the movement of material and energy. Then successional development of ecosystem. Succession, you remember, right from small to growing big to the apex. So right from the smallest to growing to the end, to apex body. That is the succession of development, right? Then abundance and distribution of organisms and biodiversity in a particular context of environment. So these are the four major thrust areas of an ecologist. So remember, if somebody says I'm an ecologist, it means he is dealing with all the four of them or any part of these four of them. Okay, that's what the function of ecologist is. Now, let's answer this question. People say, what is hierarchy in ecology? What is levels of organization in ecology? So let's understand it from a larger perspective. Let's scale it down. So let's understand that we study the concept right from universe, then comes galaxy, then comes solar system, then planet, then we have biosphere on planet, which is combination of all these spheres, atmosphere, then we have pedosphere, then we have oceano, that is the ocean sphere, that is talking about hydrosphere, right? So all these spheres in a combination we say biosphere. Then we have biomes on those biosphere, then we have ecosystem, community, then what we have, population after that, then we have individuals, then what we have is organ system, then we have organs, and then further tissues, cells and nucleus. And further, if you go ahead, breaking the nucleus to atom level, to further within an atom to the further levels. So till what we have discussed. So this is the hierarchy if you see in the nature itself, isn't it? So this hierarchy, where does ecology lie? I'm sure you can see there. It is basically biosphere to individual. This is the thrust area of ecology. So this is called levels of organization in ecology. Right from biosphere to biome to ecosystem to community to population to individual. So individual to biosphere or biosphere to individual, whatever way if you want to look at in the hierarchy, right from the small to big or big to small. Okay, so you can scale it down that this is what ecology is largely about, right? Let's look at the key terminologies that will be coming and keep coming whenever we study ecology. Okay, so first term is individual and species. Okay, we are going scaling down. So now scaling up basically right from the individual. So what does it signify? Organism is an individual. Okay, it is living being that has ability to act, function independently. That is why it is an organism, individual. Then species are group of those individuals. Okay, remember, living organisms that have a group consisting of similar individual capable of exchanging genes or interbreeding. They are not any hetero groups. They have to have this similarity of capability of exchanging genes. It means they can interbreed, they can reproduce within the species. So that is what is a species. It's a group of living organisms, not any group, but that group which can exchange and reproduce and interbreed, okay, that has this capability. So remember, organism and species. So key terminologies. Now, they are considered as basic unit of taxonomy, that is the study, and are denoted by Latin binomial, that is Homo sapiens sapiens, for example. This is for human beings, right? Then population. So population is what? It is a community of interbreeding organisms now of the same species. So population is human population, maybe bats population, dogs population, or any other thing which has a population. So what do we signify? It occupies a defined area during a specific time period, and population growth has particular rate which is positive as well as negative if we talk in terms of especially our census. So what we have seen, it can be positive due to birth and immigration and so many other factors which are favorable, which we already study in population dynamics and studies, and negative due to death and immigration and so many other factors that are responsible for the negative population growth. So this is the basic idea of population. We are not going to discuss in details. Now, community, next level. So communities is mostly dominating a plant community when we talk about. So largely they are named of particular dominant species in that community, isn't it? So if it is a plant community, the dominant plant name will be given to the community. Similarly, in human beings, who dominates is the name. Okay, so we have different communities, right? Then, for example, a grassland community is dominated by grasses. So it is named after grasses, but it doesn't mean that there are no herb or shrubs there or trees there, isn't it? But they are not enough or significant. They are not dominant. That's why they are not named after that. Then let's divide it into major communities and minor communities. So major communities, if you look at, these are large size and relatively independent. That's why they are major. Then they depend on the sun's energy from outside. For example, tropical evergreen forests. The name itself is tropical and evergreen. So they are found in tropics and they are evergreen throughout the year. What about minor communities? So these are dependent on neighboring communities and are often called societies. That's where the concept is. So communities, minor part is society, not the major part. If you look at the ecosystem concept or the ecologically concept, so if we speak ecologically, what is society? It's dependent system, okay, on neighboring communities. So once community is dependent on the other community, that's where the society is formed. That's where from pure sciences, social sciences also take cue, okay. Now, so there are secondary aggregations with a major community. For example, mat of lichens on a cow dung pad. Okay, these are minor communities. Now look at the concept of ecosystem. So if you go by the word ecosystem, it is a system. Okay, so it is an ecological system. It means it has different components because a system has individual components which together makes a system. So let's look at this. So ecosystem is a community of organisms interacting with each other within their particular niche in this particular environment. So what do? They exchange energy and their process is a system level process. So there is an operation amongst all those components such as cycling of elements, energy, right? So that is what happens in an ecosystem. In details, we'll be learning about many ecosystems in the further lectures to come. Now, biome. In the next level, hierarchy, biome is largely naturally occurring community of flora and fauna occupying a major habitat. For example, rainforest biome or tundra biome. So again, you go to the hierarchy. So if it is a higher level thing, so it comprises of lower level all the other things. So we have studied community. So ecosystem. So all this comprises of a particular kind in a particular habitat that forms a particular biome. Then plants and animals in a biome have common characteristics. That is very much important. That one biome, it means the characteristic will be common because of their source of geography, that is origin or location. Why? Because they will be originating in a similar climate, similar biospheric condition, geophysical condition, isn't it? So that's where you have so many biomes over the range of continents, and we know that there is a varying climate. Now, biomes are distinct from habitats because any biome can comprise of variety of habitats. That is the difference. People often confuse it. Why? Because in a single biome, variety of habitats can exist. Okay? Now, biosphere. The topmost in the ladder, right from individual, we come to the biosphere. So what is a biosphere? If you look in the image, what do you see? Vegetation, dead plants and animals as well, living plants and animals as well, microorganisms as well, sea creature, marine living organisms, birds, So all those different biomes under which there are different ecosystems, different population, different species, different individuals together forms a biosphere. So biosphere includes all living organisms on the earth together with the dead organic matter that they produce. So living plus dead is equal to biosphere. It's as simple as that concept of biosphere. So we have completed the key terminologies in terms of the basic understanding of an ecology. So that was the purpose of this lecture, that any person who is studying from the basics would first get this thing. What are these basic concepts about? What is the basic attribute of ecology? In coming lectures, we'll be discuss about principles, okay, which are the building blocks of the concepts. All right. So please, you can go ahead and go to the website as well for further updates, and also please like and subscribe to our channel, and don't forget to press the bell icon for further updates of the lectures. I'll be coming up with more interesting lectures, so stay tuned, stay safe, keep learning. Thank you so much.